Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. We are going to be starting a campaign of Thunderstone Quest. We are going to be playing cooperatively, two-handed, with two players on using the Barricades Mode, which was part of the second big box expansion, I guess you could say, for Thunderstone Quest. Came out between kind of chapters 4 and 5, or came along with chapters 5 and 6, essentially. But for those of you who are familiar with Thunderstone Quest and but not Barricades Mode, pretty much nothing else is different other than the fact that you're playing cooperatively. You can enter dungeon rooms together as a party, and so you can pool your light together, you can pool your attack points together. You're not sharing cards, but your total attack value and total light value are combined. But also, since this is technically how you can play solo with just a single hero, you can take a village turn and a dungeon turn at the same time. And that's the thing I like the most about Barricades Mode, because without it previously, I felt like you were missing out on half of what your cards could do every hand. You either had to choose, do I go to the village and spend my money that I've accumulated, or do I go and fight a monster? And there could be something that you really wanted to go into the village and buy, and if you didn't have a lantern or something else that allowed you to delve in to the dungeon afterwards, then you were just stuck either buying or passing up on what you wanted to buy to fight a monster. So to me, this feels more complete, more like a real or more like a standard deck builder. For those of you who are not familiar with Thunderstone Quest, pretty much it's your standard deck builder. Some of the few differences, though, is that you have your market cards over here, which are weapons, spells, and items, but you also have these 4 hero stacks here that these are all stagnant, so there's just a stack of cards that are all the same thing below them. However, your heroes will improve from you'll see here some level 1s, and then eventually you'll get to level 2s, so their stats increase, and then we'll jump up to level 3s. And some of the upcoming expansions, I believe they even have created some level 4 heroes. So the heroes get better as you upgrade them, and you can shuffle through and pull some out of the bottom there. And then you also have this face down deck, which is like a treasure deck. It contains really powerful, unique cards, or it could just contain a lot of gold, a lot of XP, something like that. So other than that, it's pretty much a standard deck builder. Your hand size is limited by your HP track here, which you can see at the very bottom of the screen. And so right off the bat, you're starting with 6, but as you take wounds, it fills these up. And so say you take 4 wounds, you are only allowed to draw 4 cards every turn. So that is something that is unique to, at least that I know of, unique to Thunderstone Quest, and pretty cool, that you got to keep yourself healthy in order to be able to draw up the cards you need to actually be effective. So what makes Barricades Mode is that instead of just battling through all these dungeons and finding some keys and then taking one shot at the boss, you have this lair that's kind of like, it's supposed to sit here at the bottom of the dungeon. I just have it off to the side for space purposes, but essentially you're just kind of biding your time, dealing with what the boss can hit you with, and then after the 9th round you're going to flip this over, and you can actually, if you can make it down there, you can attack the boss directly. And you can see here that at 2 to 3 players, I actually have to hit her 3 times, and it's going to be, with 2 players at 20 apiece. So probably something we'll have to go down there and combine to do. Also, throughout the game, to make sure we are cooperating, I'm going to be rolling up these unique 12-sided dice. These have various symbols on them, and we'll explain those as they go along, but essentially that kind of gives us something to deal with each turn. That way we're not simply just building up, building up, building up, building up in the village and ignoring the monsters. These dice essentially give us a reason to go out and fight the monsters each turn. Because if we don't, they're going to start destroying our village in the form of these token chips, which this one says Bazaar on it, so it should go up there, but I'm just putting it here. And as you fill these up, there is less room for your heroes to go to each of these locations, and if all four get filled up, then that location is permanently closed. So there is, you can't see it, but just off camera, there is now 4 locations for the marketplace, and then you have the Bazaar, Guild's Quarter, Temple, and Shop of Arcane Wonders. These cardboard tokens that are two-sided here are the barricades, and you could pay money on your turn. You can pool money together as the 2 players to set up a barricade protecting, say, the Shop of Wonders, or set up a barricade that will protect the temple. And that way, the next time that one of the boss's, die effects were to say, ooh, hit the Shop of Arcane Wonders, instead of taking one of those tokens, you just flip this back over. Because once a token is down, it cannot be picked back up. So that is pretty much how the Barricades mode works in the game. The last thing I want to point out, and then we're going to go ahead and get started here, is that we have these prestige decks, which essentially give you kind of like a class per se, similar to guild sponsorships in a way, but these have a certain way that you can upgrade your rank of. I'm playing with Duelist and Monster Hunter, and so for the Duelist, if I defeat a 1+ or better monster with a wielded weapon, I have the opportunity to gain a rank. Or if I defeat a 3+ monster with a fighter and or rogue wielding a combined 6+ printed weapon, a lot of text here, but basically I could upgrade up to 2 ranks at a time. Over here, the Monster Hunter, at turn's end, where essentially a die like this with this kind of paw symbol on it is removed, and no player removed more than you, then you get to upgrade your rank. And if you defeat a level 3 monster but without a level 3 hero, you can upgrade up to 2 ranks. So as you upgrade in ranks, we'll fill out these little, here you can see what the full board looks like. There's 9 total ranks, and each one of them costs an increasingly greater amount of XP. So not only do you have to do what's up top here, but doing what's up top gives you the ability to then pay the XP to unlock these ranks. Then these special abilities are open to you. Some of them are constant abilities, some of them, change what happens when, say, this symbol is rolled on the die. It increases it, or it may be like, if you roll... Where's the symbol I'm looking for? Well, I can't find it, but it may be like, if you roll the draw card symbol. So there are a few good sides to this die. You also get to do your heroic feat, which is the trophy symbol. So the more of these you unlock, the more special powers you have during your turns. So there again, we're playing Monster Hunter and Duelist. This is the very first part of Chapter 1, Mirror in the Dark. We're playing against Smorga. We're playing on medium, which essentially just means that we need to keep as long as we have one area of the village that has not been completely destroyed by the end of the game, and we've hit Smorga 3 times, then we win. If all 5 locations get knocked out, then we lose. We could increase the difficulty by saying only 3 locations can get knocked out, but we're just going to stick with kind of standard for right now. So, I will kind of be pretty talkative here these first couple rounds, just to make sure those of you who are not familiar with Thunderstone Quest know what's going on. But the very first thing you need to do is roll in these 2 dice. And for now, it's just 2 because it is, we are at threat level 1, and so down here on Smorga's card, this little token is telling me we only roll 1 dice per person. So we're going to say that this one is for our Duelist. Okay. And that's going to matter in a second. And we're going to say this one is for the Monster Hunter. Okay. So this symbol here that has the two paw prints on it, they kind of look like monster footprints, mean that we have added 2 monsters to the monster party, or the current party of monsters that is coming to attack our village and could hurt our village. So what that means is that I need to defeat at least a level 2 monster to kind of cancel out 2 monsters in the party. Now this purple symbol here, this is one of the symbols that is unique, is different to each boss. So here you would check the Smorga's specific board here to see that this is her spiderling's attack. You may take 2 festering wounds if you do not add 2 to the monster pool. So if I choose to add 2 to the monster pool, what that means is that I would have to beat a level 4 monster. The only way to do that would be to have one person. I have to split up. One person would have to come down here and defeat one of these 2 level 3s, and then one person would have to stay behind and defeat one of these guys, because you only get to tackle 1 monster per turn. So I think that's a bit too much to ask for in the very first hand. Even if we were able to, as a party, come down here and defeat 1 level 3, we'd still be 1 short of the total of 4. So 1 location in this village already would take damage. So, and we don't have any barricades set up, so I think, unfortunately, we are going to give our duelist here 2 festering wounds. So that takes care of that die, and we'll keep this one out right here so we remember that we have to defeat a level 2 monster. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We each have a hand size of 6 right now. And normally in a game like this you would play simultaneously, so I'm going to kind of take the village turn first for both players, and then we'll party up and move into the dungeon. So this is kind of an example of what the cards look like. If you are not familiar with Thunderstone Quest, you have your heroes, or your starting heroes here are just called adventurers, and they're pretty basic. They have an attack value up here that's always with them, and then they have this banner down below is what they can, the value of weapon or item they can equip. So you can see the daggers here have the plus, so they're not good just by themselves. Daggers don't march into a dungeon and attack a monster all on their own. So what you have to do is pair them up with an adventurer, and you can see the adventurer has he can hold up to a level 2 weapon, and this is a level 2 weapon. Now say I had someone like Stormhand here who's got a level 4, he could actually hold 2 daggers. I don't have any in my hand, but since he has 4, as long as the total number of weapons does not exceed the number in your adventurer's hand per se, then you're fine. Then there's also cards like these where Bree and Joba are actually going to increase, they're like allies, they would increase an adventurer's stat to 4. So that's how you got to kind of read these cards. Anytime you see a plus value, it cannot be used on its own. It has to be equipped or allied to someone else. The gray banners is your starting equip value. Green banners with a plus symbol add to that value if you equip them together. So basically you'd say, all right, adventurer, you're riding Joba and you're wielding a dagger. And if we had a second dagger, this one adventurer could wield a second dagger. Then this last thing that you need to pay attention to on cards is the light value, which is down here. And so this is 1 light value, and that's the only light value we have in this person's hand. So that means we will be able to enter this dungeon here because it has a light value of 1. This one has a light value of 2. So we wouldn't be able to make it down here just with the monster hunter by himself. These first 2 dungeon levels have 0. Occasionally monsters or certain rooms will add to the light value, things like that. But and then the last thing, I guess, is the coins. So you can see our adventurers here don't give us any coins, but for the monster hunter, they have 8 total coins they can spend this turn. And our duelist has just 4. So we need to decide where we want to go. Let's see here. Now, I think pretty sure that these Festering Wounds went directly into my discard pile, so going to the temple is not going to help me with my guy here to heal those 2 up. So, let's see here. I don't have enough to spend to buy a treasure at the Shop of Arcane Wonders. No matter where I go in the village, I can still purchase a card from the marketplace. If I go to the market as with my person, I can actually draw an extra card. And the Guild's Quarter, if I go here, I can, instead of leveling up a hero right now, which you can always do, you can always level up a hero, pay the XP difference in cost to trash an adventurer per se, and level up to one of these guys, and then a level 1 Hawkswood can level up to level 2, so on and so forth. If you go to the Guild's Quarter, you can level up your person as a spoils, which means after the battle, which means you get to use your hero during the battle. Normally you would chuck your hero, this guy would go in the discard pile, and you wouldn't get to use them for that round. So let's take a look here at what we need to do. Whoops, picking up the wrong set of cards here. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 2 lights. This guy it might be worth it for my duelist here to draw an extra card because he's got no weapons. My adventurer, you can see that dagger on it has, after buying a card you may destroy this, but the adventurer also says, where does it say? Oh, dungeon. If wielded by a level 0 hero, draw 1 card. So if I pair these 2 together, once I enter the dungeon, I'll be able to draw an extra card from my deck here. I don't have anything like that for my duelist, so I think my duelist is going to go over here to the marketplace. And my monster hunter is going to go to the Guild's Quarter. So I don't have any XP left, so I can't upgrade anybody. And both players can now spend their money to purchase new cards. So this guy has 4 money, and the duelist wants to have fighters and rogues in his hands. So Stormhand here, he likes edged weapons, and Hawkswood, I just know from previous plays, enjoys the short bow or the bow. I cannot afford the bow, so I think I'm gonna go with the short sword here. Spend 3 out of my 4 bucks, and then these cards come back into my hand so I can use them again. And then I had 8 to spend with this person, so I could purchase a hero actually with 8, or I could go over here and purchase a spell. And I think what I'm gonna do, because 8's kind of hard to come up with early on, is I'm gonna buy a fireball. Since the duelist is going to kind of go after my fighters and my rogues, I'll have my monster hunter be my wizard and my cleric, so that I'll have kind of nice specialized hands here, and the combos can work really well. So, alright, there I've spent all my money, and so now I take both players and we enter the dungeon. Again, the miniatures don't really serve a whole big purpose here in the game, especially when you're playing by yourself and you don't need to proclaim where you're going. They almost don't serve much of a point at all. So, alright, so like I said before, my monster hunter here can okay, let's see. Bree, once per turn after a die is rolled, you may re-roll the die before it's resolved. If you do, discard Bree, unless you have Joba. Or Joba, level up 1 hero paying cost. Okay, so essentially I just have 1, 2, 3, and then Joba, who can be added to my adventure, or Bree can be allied with my adventurer here. So I have 4 attack and 1 light. I do, however, have the dagger adventurer combo, and so I have another adventurer here. So now I have 5 attack with just my monster hunter. Alright. So over here, and I need to get to defeat this guy. I need to defeat at least a level 2 monster here. So this guy's actually at 8 because his room's always giving him 1. And before the battle, I need to discard a hero who's got the edged weapon symbol. So like this is a magic symbol, this is the weapon symbol. So any of my adventurers would do. Here, this guy's also 8. But unless you have a rogue, discard 1 gear token after moving into this room. I don't have any gear right now, so either of these guys would be fine. This guy's going to give me 2 lanterns as spoils. This one's just going to give me 1 treasure. They'll both give me some XP. They're both going to give me 2 wounds. So both of those guys are looking pretty good. This guy's probably the easier to defeat. Alright, so, oh, and I forgot, I went to the marketplace, so I do get to draw an extra card. And I drew an extra adventurer. So, I basically just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 light. So I have 2 light and 10 attack. So, let's see. This guy is 14. Oh no, this guy is +2 for each of your human heroes, and I have a lot. So there's no way I'm going after this guy. This guy I could go after because he has magical resistance. So if I'm hitting with a magical attack, I'd have to get to 14. But instead, all of my attacks are physical. So this says, unless you have a rogue, discard 1 random card when you come into this room, which could hurt me. After battle, place your champion. So I could make it down into these 2 rooms because, or no, I can't, because I need 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's one of these 2, and I've got plenty to defeat either one of them. And so I think what I'm actually going to do is discard this guy because he's forcing me to discard a card. I've got plenty of cards that I can discard. So I have discarded a card here, so I still have 4 attack. And I am discarding a card here, and I still have 4 attack. So I defeat this guy, no problem. I did the before battle step, and each one of us now is unfortunately going to take 2 wounds. Okay, 2 wounds. So right now, if we were to draw cards, we'd only get 5 each in our hand. We, however, are going to get 4 total XP, so that's divided, unfortunately. So we'll just do 2 and 2. And then 2 lanterns, so we'll give each of us a lantern. Okay, so that's the spoils of this person. And normally you would keep this because it would give you total points at the end of the game, but otherwise this card can just kind of go off to the side. And at the end of our turn here, we will refill that dungeon spot. So a few spoils things that we need to cover is that with Joba, for spoils, you can see here that it says level up 1 hero, paying the XP costs if they are a level 0 hero instead pay 0. So I've got lots of level 0s in my hand, so I'm actually going to discard or lose that adventurer, and now I get to take my pick of any level 1 hero. So remember, this side was going after the wizard and the cleric, so I'm going to go after the wizard. Now, I also, since I went to the guild's quarter, I may level up a hero as a spoil. So, what I get to do now is also lose this other adventurer, and since I am leveling up to a level 1 hero, I have to discard 1 XP. Alright, so that's it for my monster hunter. And one last thing, I removed people, and no other player moved more than me because we were in there together. So I will pay, actually I don't have to pay anything because this first rank number 1, is cost of 0. So I actually just get to take one of these and put it right there. So now at any point in time in the village, I can spend 3 XP to build a barricade at any location. So instead of paying 10 money, I can spend 3 XP as the monster hunter to build a barricade. That's the biggest reason why I went after the monster hunter, by the way. Okay, and there was one other thing I knew I had in here somewhere. Oh, it was my Thunderstone piece. And so this says spoils. So after the fight, if you are in a party, which we were, gain 1 or heal 1 token. So I actually get to put this back. And now I'm still seeing a 6, so my hand draw will still be a 6. So over here on the duelist, we have the same, pretty much the same deal, except for we did not have Joba in our hands, nor did we go to the guild's quarter. So we're stuck with all our adventurers right now and our 2 festering wounds. Okay, but that's pretty much it. That was 1 turn. We will refill this spot here with a Direwolf Rider. This one says destroy a human hero with the highest shield amount. So we would definitely kind of want to get in there now, because if I went in there with my wizard, I'd have to destroy my wizard. So I want to go attack this guy when I just have my adventurers, because I'm not too concerned about losing them. So we can stay here. We can take a look at what our lantern situation is next time, because we can always back out and come to the village the next time. But if we stay here, we actually, instead of needing 3 to get down into this room, we only need 2. Last thing you do at the end of your turn is we will move this up here, and you can see at round 4 we'll start rolling 2 dice per player. Okay, so we will start with the monster hunter. He gets the spiderlings, and the duelist. Unfortunately, this symbol here means that we immediately draw a barricade token. But before I do that, I should wait. Who had Joba here? Okay. This Joba should have been with my duelist, which means I should have been able to level up a hero for 0. Sorry, I was just sitting right there. Some of you were probably screaming at the monitor there. Let me keep these cards separate here. Maybe next game I'll separate my 2 boards with Smorga's board here. So, alright, we are going after Stormhand. So, we'll just make that easy. Okay. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to shuffle real quick. Six. Okay. So there she is. Bree Satine is in my hand. It says once per turn after a die is rolled, you may re-roll the die before it resolves. If you do, discard Bree Satine unless you have Joba. Now I could have because I shuffled my deck, but I don't. But I am going to discard Bree to re-roll this one, and it's going to give us a single monster attack. So this one's going to stay there. Now I need to decide, is my monster hunter going to take 2 festering wounds, or are we going to have to go after a level 3? So let's just take a quick look. I have 2 light here, and then unfortunately, since I discarded Bree, I only have the ability to wield 1 dagger here, so I'm only at 2, and we'd need to get to 10. So let's see what this guy is going to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing. He needs a shuffle. Okay, so we have enough light that we could actually make it all the way down if we went to the village. But again, I'll be able to draw 1 more card, but I essentially just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 8. So I am too short right now of being able to defeat this guy. And I don't even want to attempt this guy yet because I've got almost nothing but human heroes. So, yeah, I think we're gonna have to take the festering wounds, unless, hold on, I could risk it here, because I could go get a ration, which a ration is gonna give me +2. So that would give me enough, if I just bought it and then used it right away, it would give me enough to have my adventurer wield both daggers, and then I draw 2 more cards. So I think we're going to do it. I think instead of taking the 2 wounds, I'm just going to rotate this die, and so now we have 3. And we're going to go after this guy, Karthos the Sorcerer. But first we're going to take a turn. And you know, I'm going to switch up my minis again, not that it matters, but the duelist I'm going to give the sword, and the monster hunter I'm going to give, this guy's more like a kung fu master here, my duelist. I should have given him the sword the whole time. So the duelist is going to go up here, way up off screen, to the bazaar, and he is going to spend, he's got 6, and he's going to spend 2 of them on a ration. Okay. Then he's got 4 left. He can always buy something from the market. So I think we are going to purchase another short sword. Yeah. Okay. So that's all for the duelist. Then our monster hunter is going to, let's see, how much money does our monster hunter have? Not much. Our monster hunter basically has the same hand that the other guy did. So they've got 3. So I am going to go ahead and come right here so I can level up my hero again at the end. I'm going to purchase a hammer, which my cleric will want to use. And since both of us are taking a village turn, we both get to heal 1 wound. So we're both back up to full power. You can always upgrade a hero paying normal XP cost. You can always purchase something from the market, and you can always heal 1 wound. No matter where you go in the village, those 3 are like umbrella options. Okay, so let's then figure this out. So we'll take both our players here, and we will move them into the wilderness. And all right, so I've got 1, 2, 3 light, plus I have a couple lanterns that I don't really need, so I'm going to keep my light down there. All right, so my duelist here has got, he's going to spend his, well, technically first I can pair up these and draw a card. Perfect. So I can hold on to my ration. So now I can pair up these guys and draw another card. All right, so we're good. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my Monster Hunter, same thing. He's got a pairing there. Ooh, and I already got my Cleric. So you can see my Cleric has increased. He's already got 2 XP worth of weapons he can hold. He's only got 1, but his special power there at the bottom says Dungeon. You may give a hero +2 ability. You may heal 1 wound. So this unfortunately has to the healing of the wound has to happen right now. It's not a spoils effect, it's a dungeon effect. So right now we're in the dungeon and I don't have any wounds to heal on either player. So really we just have then 3 and then 3 more for a total of 6. So we've got 5 over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've got 6 right here, and we've got 3 light, and so we should have no problem going 0 light, 1 light. We've got 2 left, and boom. Okay, so I forgot about this little note here. Unless you have a rogue, discard 1 card at random when you move into this room. So hopefully this will not hurt us too badly. I don't think it should, but it could, actually. All right. Okay, so there's our dagger. So we still have 1, 2, 3. Put this up here so we don't get it confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from our Monster Hunter. Okay, perfect. Flipping that over means that we should now discard it. Should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew, so that was close, actually. I almost failed that one. But we are able to defeat this guy because all of our attacks are physical, so we don't have to worry about that additional 4. We again are each going to take 2 wounds. It's okay, we're going to heal some up real quickly. So there's 2 wounds, 7 XP. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna give 4 over here. Well, technically the XP goes right there. And 3 right here. Okay, and then we get a treasure card. So I just flip over the top one and then I get to decide who gets it. So, human, cleric, hero, heal 1 wound to draw a card. So, essentially this guy, the Monster Hunter, is my cleric and wizard guy, so that's going to go into there. So, my Karthos, the sorcerer, is a level 3 person, so we have cleared away those. And this also says, place your champions in the 0 room, so we get kicked out of this room as part of the effect. Ooh, and we get +2, that was hiding. So, we get 2 more XP. Give you each 1. All right, so now on to our spoils effect. Starting with the Monster Hunter, I have my Thunderstone Piece, so I'm going to heal 1 wound because we just took 1. And then that's it, except for the fact that I went to the Guild's Quarter there, and maybe I should leave my mini there so I remember. Anyways, so I can level up one of my adventurers here, paying, let's see, 1, we'll do, I already got 2 wizards now in my hands, so, or 2 clerics, but we'll do that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, I gotta pay 1, okay. All right, so then moving back over here, I lost 1 Thunderstone Piece. So this one's going to allow me to heal 1 of my wounds. And then, yeah, see, I don't have Joba in my hand. I did not go to the Guild's Quarter, so I am, my duelist is not upgrading his heroes as quickly as the Monster Hunter. Okay, so next round, we need to move this up, and we will start by rolling these 2 dice. So again, we'll start with the Monster Hunter again. And the Spiderling symbol. There is 12 sides to this die, and we keep rolling that one. Spiderlings and a single monster token. So let's see if we... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should have... not Joe, but Bree. So I think I am going to... Yep. Discard Bree to re-roll this one. And I got the red one instead, which is the web. Take 1 Festering Wound, add 1 to the pool, monster pool, if you have a dwarf or a halfling. So let's see here. Joba is a beast. Hylorian is a human, and so no, I'm good. So I just have to take 1 Festering Wound. So that gets added to my discard pile there. Alright, let's take a look at our duelist here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a bad feeling about what some of the stuff in here is. Yep. So, Festering Wound. And you can see that Festering Wounds, not only do they clog up your hand, but they're boosting the monsters. And they are reducing the amount that you get in rewards. So, we are definitely going to heal these up here in a second. Alright, so now this can go away, and we only have to deal with a level 1 monster. So this should be a pretty easy turn. So let's start with our duelist, in fact. And we only have 2 money we can spend. But we've got lots of XP to spend. Yeah, if I had 4, I'd go and buy a health token, but I don't. So, my duelist is going to go to the guild's quarter. That way he can use his XP. If I had enough money, I could just purchase one of these level 1 heroes right off the bat. If I had enough XP, or I have plenty of XP, so I'll upgrade one of my adventurers here at the end, and I'll actually be able to upgrade both because I have Joba in my hand. And I get to heal 1 wound, so I get to put this one back. This stays on my hero board because I chucked a wound card out of my hand. So that was my village turn for the duelist. And now the monster hunter has 2, 4, 5 money. So 5 money. Let's see here, I already have Joba in my hand, and I only have 1 hero. So, going to the guild's quarter isn't going to help me. I don't want to go to the temple. I guess I could, but I don't really need to. Do I buy a Hawkswood? Do I buy a Gem of Healing, maybe? Yeah, I think actually we should do that. Okay, but I am going to go ahead and go to the guild's quarter so that I can upgrade at the end, and I'm going to purchase a Gem of Healing. Okay. Alright, so that's done. Now over here, got lots of cards, but none of them do any. None of them have any money. Alright, I actually only have 6 money here as well, but I've got a whole lot of firepower. How did my short bow make it here? I think this should be in this hand. I would not have bought a short bow for my monster hunter. Did I do that? Again, it can get kind of tricky with 2 player boards playing 2-handed side by side, but I'm pretty sure my whole goal was to put the Hawkswood and Stormhand in this player, and so the bow would go to this player because the bow benefits the elf and the rogue. So, alright. So I drew into another adventure. I think I definitely want to be upgrading some people at the end. So I've got 6 money. I'm also going to go here. And what do I want to spend my 6 money on? Unfortunately, well, I think we're going to do magic missiles. I'm going to trade in my 1 ration here, which can be either +2 experience when equipping weapons, or it can be 1 gold at any time. That'll give me the ability to buy the only arcane spell we have. Oh, I guess Future Vision is arcane, but it doesn't give you any damage. So Magic Missiles goes well with the Pylorian. All right, so let's see here now. Okay, I've got a whole lot going on here. Let's do the Monster Hunter first. So we have a Festering Wound. We're going to need to keep that in mind. I have my Cleric here, and I can give another hero +2. So he's going to wield my hammer. So he's at 3. Then I've got my Pylorian, who's at 2. I don't have any other spells. And then this guy, so 3, and that's up to 6. He's going to allow me to heal a wound and draw a card now that I'm entering the dungeon. Okay. So I have another lantern there. So right now I just have 1 lantern. That's the only thing. I've got this one. Yeah. But I'm up to 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total with just this 1 person, and 2 lanterns if I spend my token. I don't have a rogue though. So I'd have to I can make it down into here, and I'd have to discard a rogue, a token, which I could discard my thing, so. He's only given me 3 plus a treasure. Okay, and right now I only have 1, 2, okay, 3 human heroes here, 4, 5, okay, so this guy would be a 17. Six, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm not getting to 17 here. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm only getting to 13 if I combine together. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These guys are gonna give me 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. So I'm not gonna defeat either of those guys. Okay, so maybe we should, unless you have a rogue, discard 1 card at random. Okay, so let's pair up. So I'm gonna leave these guys here so I don't forget that I was at the guild's quarter, but we have plenty of light to make it down here. So we're gonna go after Samuel the Cleric. My duelist has a rogue in her hand, so I don't need to discard a card at random. Now I'm assuming that when I discard a card at random, my Festering Wound is included in the mix here. So let's see which one I got. No, one of my adventurers. Okay. Then it says discard 1 card for each of your wounds. So I have 2 wounds. Uh-oh. And here I have 2 wounds. Okay. But you know what? I forgot to heal up a wound here. So I really just have 1 and 1. Okay, so I need to discard somebody else. I need to get to 10 to be able to defeat this guy now, so let's just do the math out here. There is 3 and 6. I could discard Bree, because this one says discard a card at random, this one says discard 1 card. So I'm discarding Bree. Oh, I need to get to 11, but I'm at 6 here. 6, 7. And then over here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need all of my people. So I guess I will discard my Thunderstone piece. I already calculated the light value, so that's fine. Okay. And while I'm at it, can't forget all of this stuff. Both my Silver Helm and my Apothecary can allow me to heal 1 wound. So this can go away. I don't think I can heal somebody else's wounds. But either way. Alright, we are taking 2 damage each. We did defeat this guy. Okay. We're going to get 7 XP. Okay. Let's go back in there. And we get a treasure. Ooh, so we got an edged magic weapon. So we're going to give this to our duelist, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty fancy. Although it's +3 magic. Oh my goodness. Does this go over here? Stormhand's edged weapons have -1. I need to look into that. Because will Stormhand be able to wield a magic weapon if he doesn't have magic? If he's not a wizard? I need to confirm on that. So, alright, we got all of the spoils out of the way here. So that goes away. We can go ahead and refill this. And then here, we were with a party, so we can heal a wound. And that's it for this side, but I was at the guild's quarter, so I can upgrade my adventurer to a Pylorian for 1. Okay, and I can also pay the cost. I actually did defeat a level 3 monster, but without a level 3 hero, but I don't have 9 total XP, I just have 4 to buy this next level. So they get more expensive as time goes by. Okay, so I just have 1 left, but that's fine. And then over here, Joba is going to allow me to upgrade, and my guild's quarter is going to allow me to upgrade. So Joba allows me to upgrade for free. So we'll do 1 of you, and then here I have to pay the 1 to upgrade to another Stormhand. And I defeated a 1+ monster with a wielded weapon, 3+ monster with a fighter and or rogue wielding a combined. I did not do that, so I can only upgrade once, so I will pay my 2 to get up to level 3 duelist. Okay, so we're going to stop there for this video. I will clarify who can wield that firebrand sword that's in there. But just to recap here, our duelist is at level 3. He's also got 3 wounds, so it means he's only going to be able to draw up to 5 cards. Our monster hunter is at level 4. She's still at 6. And yeah, we will bring our guys back here. We will be moving on to level 5. So in 4 more turns, then we will flip over and be able to take on Smorga herself. And as of right now, we have not taken any damage to the village. So, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be notified when the next Thunderstone Quest video drops, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified when we release it. Once again, thanks for watching and have a wonderful night.